from the betting capital of the world. Giving raw and real breakdowns of mixed martial arts and recapping UFC events like no one else with producer Martin on the ones and twos and combat sports betting expert Effie. You're listening to Any Action Sportscast. Any Action Sportscast. So put your headphones on and let's take this podcast to the next level.
This isn't a podcast. It's a sportscast.
What is up, guys? We are back. It's your boy Effie with Any Action Sportscast, here to go over UFC Charlotte. Jailton Almeida versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. We're coming off another losing week, guys, where unfortunately we lost 2.25 units, pushing us our losing streak to 4 straight losing weeks, man. It's a bit of a rut we're in right now, but we're going to bounce back on this fight night card. A lot of good betting opportunities. So far, we have one moneyline bet for 2.2 units. We'll get into that. A little bit of a short video, a little bit of a rushed video this week. I do have to make this video, edit the video, and put it out before the Golden Knights go and play the Edmonton Oilers. It's a big-time game for us, Game 4. If we can go up 3-1 here, it'll be huge. Got a third-string goalie, though, against probably the best offensive team in the league, so it's going to be close. Like I said, I was pretty quick with my picks this week. A couple of things I forgot to mention. I did forget to mention that's an early card, right? So in Vegas, it's going to be starting at 8:30 in the morning. And so that kind of prohibits how I'm betting because I do like Lisboa in that first fight. I'm going to mention here in a second. But I don't think that I'm going to be making myself stress out a 50-50 low-level women's MMA fight at 8:30 in the morning because I'm going to go for the underdog. So yeah, without any further ado, here are my picks and enjoy the show. Peace. Up first, we have a women's flyweight fight between Jessica Rose Clark and Tainara Lisboa. Lisboa is making her UFC debut. She comes in 5-2, and money's been coming in on her. This line right now is pretty much a pick'em. Rose Clark, the UFC veteran, -110. Lisboa, the debutante, -105. All that plus money is gone on Lisboa, and I really wanted to bet on her. I am picking her to win this fight. There's a lot of unknowns in this fight, though, guys. Rose Clark, we've seen her get submitted 2 times in a row now in that first round via armbar, and that's never a good look, man. She's 35 years old on her last fight in her contract, and it's getting rough, dude. You gotta wonder where her head's at. I know she split camp in Texas and in California for this camp, and she's fighting a Muay Thai fighter here in Lisboa, who I think will have the speed advantage on the feet, and I think that Rose Clark might have PTSD right now if the fight gets to the mat, man. She's gonna be trying to avoid that, even though she probably is a really good wrestler here compared to Lisboa. Lisboa is more of a Muay Thai striker, and the thing with her is this girl from Brazil, she's beating up straight cans. She's beating up absolutely nobody, dude. 1-4, 0-1, 0-0, 0-0. Like, the opponents she's beating are straight bums, but she's looking good while she does it. So I think that she will keep this fight on the feet, have the speed advantage. I'm not betting it because that plus money is gone by now. And I do think that jet lag is going to play a significant factor, man. I'm watching Lisboa on Instagram, and she's on a flight, a 16-hour flight on Tuesday, has to land, get adjusted to the Vegas time, and then cut weight the next day. So, yeah, I think that's a little bit much for a young up-and-comer. She does have quite a bit of Muay Thai experience, though, man. She's a 2-time world champion outside of MMA in Muay Thai. She has fights against Valentina Shevchenko, so that's always good that, you know, she has that experience. And ultimately, man, Rose Clark on a 2-fight losing streak, 35 years old, and probably going to have her last fight in the UFC after she loses this one. Give me Lisboa to win a decision. Not betting it, though. Up next, we have a fight that I do think I am going to bet. We'll see where the line goes here. I'm going with Gabe Green versus Bryan battle here. I'm going with Gabe Green. So Gabe Green comes in 11-4, sitting as a -125 favorite. That number is slightly moving now. I'm seeing him around -140. So money's coming in on him a little bit throughout the week. This is filmed on Wednesday. He's 30 years old, 5'10", with a 73-inch reach. He's fighting Bryan Battle, Ultimate Fighter winner, 8-2. He's coming in at around +110 right now. 28 years old, 6'1", with a 77-inch reach. So with this fight, I think Gabe Green is a better MMA fighter in this fight overall. We just saw Bryan Battle get real exposed in that last fight against Fakhretdimov. But, dude, that guy was a beast. That guy is one of those guys from a funny place in the world with the funny hat, with the chin beard, just looking to wrestle here. And he got Bryan Battle down at will and pretty much pummeled him the whole fight. Couple 10-8 rounds in there. He looked really bad, Bryan Battle did, especially on the mat. Gabe Green here is going to be smaller. He's going to have a size disadvantage to Bryan. Both guys throw a lot of volume. It's going to be a pretty exciting 15-minute striking fight. And I just think that the fact that Gabe Green is pretty even here on the feet, he probably has more power, even though he is smaller. I think that the fact that at any moment he could really rely on that grappling disadvantage from Bryan Battle here, it'll help him steal rounds. So I'm going to go with Gabe Green here, and at minus 140, I think that's a pretty fair line. I wouldn't be surprised to see myself lay some money on that, but the way things are going lately, if you have money on Bryan Battle and I bet on Gabe Green, congrats, bro, because everything I touch right now is turning to dust. Like, I'm just cursed right now, but give me Gabe Green, and I actually do think I'm going to bet his money line here. Up next, we have the smoke break fight of the card. Yeon Kim versus Mandy Bohm. This is the women's flyweight fight. Kim coming in on a 4-5 losing streak, sitting as a minus 250 favorite. She's 33 years old, 5'7", with a 72-inch reach. Mandy Bohm, the other side, comes in on a 2-fight losing streak. She is 7-2, 33 years old, sitting as a plus 205 underdog. She is 5'7", with a 71-inch reach. I think that Kim's going to win this fight based on volume alone, man. I think that she's going to throw more, look better when she's doing it, and just win a 15-minute striking fight. I'm really not interested in this fight at all. I'm not betting it, not touching the over 2.5 rounds. That's juiced. But it's a pretty safe parlay piece. I don't see Kim finishing anybody in this fight, or really anyone in the organization. Mandy Bohm's a pretty average fighter everywhere, whereas Kim I at least view as a pretty competent striker. She has very bad striking defense, but she really doesn't have to worry about that from Mandy Bohm here. Mandy Bohm can get turned to dust after that first round. She fades big time. Her output just really sees a decline after that first 5 minutes. So I think Kim's gonna, put it on here. And if you really want to get degenerate and crazy, you just want to lose money, go ahead and take a look at that Kim round 3 prop. So, because I think Bohm's going to fade in this fight, especially with the volume and output of Kim here. And Mandy Bohm also flying out of Ireland, might have some jet lag as well. Give me Kim to win this fight. And it's funny because at least with the Rose Clark fight and Lisboa, like at least there's a little bit of unknown in that fight. So you're kind of excited, like you don't know what's going to happen. Rose Clark coming off a huge injury, like, at 35 years old. There's a little bit of interest in that fight. In this fight, there is no interest. I know exactly who these girls are, and they're not very good. I think loser definitely gets cut, and maybe even the winner might get cut. But give me Kim to win via decision. Up next is a very exciting fight. The rest of the fights are pretty good. Those first 2 women fights are pretty rough, but the rest are pretty good. We have a lightweight fight between Natan Levy and Pete Rodriguez, man. Natan Levy, 8-1, comes in as a favorite at minus 220. So money's been coming in on Pete Rodriguez. On the screen right here, it says that Levy is minus 295. He's around minus 220 right now, so money's been coming in on his opponent. So he is 31 years old, Levy, 5'9", with a 72-inch reach. Pete Rodriguez, 5-1, coming in as a plus 230 underdog. Like I said, money's been coming in on him. He's around plus 200 right now. 26 years old, 5'9", with a 73-inch reach. And this is going to be a very exciting fight because I'm interested to see how Natan Levy handles Pete Rodriguez in that first round. Pete Rodriguez, dude, he's a front runner, right? So this guy never sees the second round. And that's a big red flag because he's powerful, man. This guy cracks. This guy puts people down for sure. And he comes out to do it quick. The thing is, he's cutting down to 155, and he's never fought at 155. So you got to wonder how his chin's going to be, how his durability is. And you were wondering how his durability is even before the cut to 155. So we've never really seen this guy in an extended fight. So it really comes down to, can Natan Levy handle that tidal wave in that first round and extend this fight? Because I think he can. He should have a grappling advantage in this fight, but we haven't really seen Pete Rodriguez have to use that part of his game. Like I said, he's coming down to 155. And this was actually pushed back. This was a fight that got rescheduled because it came out that, rumor has it, that Pete Rodriguez was having a tough time coming down to 155. He's a pretty big guy. So yeah, man, he's going to have a tough weight cut. The second try, I guess you could say, at 155 to make that weight. And we don't know if he's going to gas out after the first 5 minutes. He might look good for the first 5 minutes, hurt Levy bad, but who knows? He might just be death gas like we saw Braxton Smith the other day in there. So give me Natan Levy because I just seen him more and I have more faith in him. And I don't even know if he's that good, Natan Levy. I don't know how much of a future he has in the UFC, but give me Levy here to win a decision. Up next, we have a underdog pick, man. Cody Stamann versus Douglas Silva de Andrade. Cody Stamann comes in 21-5-1, and he comes in as a minus 125 favorite. He is 33 years old, 5'6", with a 64-inch reach. Douglas Silva de Andrade comes in 28-5, sitting as a plus 105 underdog. He is 37 years old, 5'7", with a 68.5-inch reach. Now, the reason I'm not betting Andrade is that age. That age is very worrisome, guys. 37 years old at bantamweight is never a good look. I do think that he could win this fight. Stamann, good grappler, good wrestler, pretty good boxing, quick hands. Doesn't have the power threat that Andrade has. Andrade should probably be the lesser technical fighter here. Probably throw less volume, be more of the counter striker here. But it should be okay because he has pop, dude. He really impressed me in that Sergey Morozov fight. He was looking bad at first, and his power really saved him in that fight. He has good grappling, both defensive and offensively. So it's not like he's a fish out of water if Cody Stamann wants to make this a 15-minute grappling fight and really push the pace. He is 37 years old though, so that is worrisome, man. Coming off losing to Said Nurmagomedov, where he looked better against Said than Cody Stamann did when Cody Stamann fought him. I mean, I know it's MMA math, but I'm going with Silva Andrade here. I think that power is going to win him the fight. I think he's going to land a more dangerous or more significant, more damaging shots. And on the mat, I do think it's 50-50. Andrade does tend to be okay off his back too long and kind of concede minutes there, but which does worry me. And I know Cody Stamann's out of a really good camp at Shin Couture. Man, I'm going with Andrade here. I'm not betting it because of that age. And I do feel like we're kind of leaving free money on the table here by not betting Andrade. When you're picking an underdog and you think he's going to win, you should probably bet him. But I'm going with Andrade. No bet. It's pure pick. Let's go, Douglas. Up next, man. This is a sloppy heavyweight fight for sure. But I'm excited for it, man. Karl Williams is taking on the Vanilla Gorilla, Chase Sherman. Karl Williams comes in 8-1, surging in the UFC ever since making his debut. 33 years old, 6-3 with a 79-inch reach. He comes in as a minus 420 favorite. That's hilarious, dude. Chase Sherman, 16-11, 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Comes in as a massive 310 underdog. He's 33 years old, 6'4 with a 78-inch reach. So Karl Williams is a light heavyweight guy that just likes to fight at heavyweight. He doesn't want to cut down. He could definitely make 205. I feel like he's kind of small. But it won't matter here. This is a clear open and shut case. Karl Williams should take down Chase Sherman here at least one time in every round, and that should be enough to keep Chase Sherman down. Chase Sherman on his back is really bad, man. He kind of does nothing. Kind of just lays there and doesn't give up, or he just gives up position and tries to survive to the bell. Where Karl Williams, it does worry me though, because yeah, he's gonna be able to get Sherman down pretty much whenever in this fight. But when he does get the fights there, he doesn't really show much of like a finishing threat. He doesn't go to try to get a Kimura from side control. He doesn't really try to advance mount you some ground and pound. But like he's just kind of holding you. He's just kind of accumulating time. Every now and then punches you. Just does enough for the ref to not pull you off. And just it's not the most exciting type of style, guys. He's like really suffocating with that control, but he is a good wrestler, man. That Dana White Contender Series fight against Jimmy Lawson. Jimmy Lawson's a Penn State wrestler, and he out-wrestled the Penn State wrestler, so that was very impressive. But in that Bresky fight, he was kind of fading, and it was really boring. He had a pretty one-dimensional, man. Get the guy down, hold him there, and don't let him get him up and strike with you, because that's what he's going to do here. And tough, because Chase Sherman, yes, he will get taken down. Yes, he probably will get held down, but if he advances to the next round every time on the feet, he might be live to spark Karl Williams or Chase Sherman via knockout. Man, that would be an insane turn of events. I don't think it happens. I think Karl Williams does finally finish somebody on the mat, and it's because it's going to be someone of the level of Chase Sherman that will let him do it. So give me Karl Williams via ground and pound round 1. Because I don't think if he doesn't get in round 1, it's not going to happen. He's going to be too tired to do it in round 2 and 3. Up next is a banger of a fight. I'm really excited for this fight because I don't know what's going to happen. Matt Brown versus Court McGee. I'm going with Court McGee right here in this fight. Let's tape Matt Brown, 23-19. This dude has an insane amount of fights. Plus 150 underdog, 42 years old, 6 foot with a 76-inch reach. Court McGee on the other side, 21-11, sitting as a minus 180 favorite, 38 years old, 5'11 with a 75.5-inch reach. Dude, what can we say? So Matt Brown, these guys are OGs. These guys are triple OGs, OG, triple, whatever you want to say. Nothing but respect to these guys, man. So they've been fighting in the UFC for a very long time, especially Matt Brown. Matt Brown, the most knockouts in welterweight history. Those elbows are unbelievable. His highlight reel is one of the best highlight reels you can see. And Court McGee, durable guy. He just got knocked out in his last most recent fight, which is very surprising. I didn't expect Jeremiah Wells to put him out like that. But before the Jeremiah Wells fight, he was considered a pretty durable guy, man. 32 professional fights. He's only been finished twice. And Matt Brown, dude, 42 years old. I really don't think that you should be fighting professional MMA at 42 years old. Got nothing left to prove, man. The guy's been fighting for a long time, dude. Over 40 professional fights. He's got a ton of miles on him. In theory, he is a better MMA fighter. Matt Brown is a better overall fighter than Court McGee, but at this point in their career, I understand Court McGee is 38 years old, but I do think that he has enough grappling upside here to win a decision and stay safe on the feet. And who knows, maybe Court McGee himself finds a knockout rare finish here, which is very rare for him. And catches Matt Brown here, but I don't see it happening. I see this fight going in 15 minutes, and yeah, man, I hope both guys have fun. Put it that way. I was on the line podcast this week, and they have unique categories, and that was one. And for my I hope both guys have fun pick, it was this fight. So give me Court McGee. Don't feel like I'm gonna be betting that fight. The line's pretty accurate, but up there in age, you gotta fade the 42-year-old fighter sometimes. Up next is the only bet on the card that we have placed so far. We have Tim Means taking on Alex Morono. Tim, the Dirty Bird Means, comes in 32, 14, and 1. He comes in as a plus 190 underdog. He is 39 years old, 6'2", with a 75-inch reach. Alex, the Great White Morono, on the other side, comes in 22 and 8, sitting as a minus 240 favorite at 32 years old, 5'11", with a 72-inch reach. So right away, Tim Means will be the taller, longer guy, but he will also be significantly older, 7 years older, 39 years old, closing in on 40 years old here, guys. He's running a 2-fight losing streak where I got to go with Morono here. I put 2.2 units on Morono to win one here at minus 220, and I feel good about it, man. Age is on his side, speed's on his side. Both guys are pretty well-rounded. Morono, impressed me coming off short notice off the couch against Santiago Ponzinibbio, who's a pretty good fighter himself. Hurt Ponzinibbio bad in that fight twice, and he himself got finished, so it was a fight where he was on short notice, looked good in the beginning, and got hurt in that third round, and it cost him. Before that, he was on a winning streak, and I think that this fight is going to look a lot like that Donald Cowboy Cerrone fight, where Tim Means, he's in the twilight of his career. He's starting to fade. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. He's getting up there in age, guys. 32, 14, and 1. He's over 50 professional fights. Over 40 professional fights. And it's got to add up on you, man. That's a lot of wear and tear on your body. And it's not like Morono was a bum, dude. He's a well-rounded fighter. He can crack a little bit of a goofy upright stance, but he has good BJJ as well. He doesn't really use it in his fights. So that tells me that even if Tim Means does try to grapple here with Morono, I trust Morono's BJJ and defensive grappling to get up and either reverse positions or try to stay safe on the mat. But on the feet, I think that he's going to crack Tim Means. Tim Means going to split decision against Max Griffin was kind of surprising. I thought that he lost that fight pretty clearly. I was kind of shocked to hear that come in. And before that, he got submitted by Kevin Holland, where he did hurt Kevin Holland in that fight. So it's not like he's fallen off a cliff like drastically like Tony Ferguson or anything. But I do think that he is starting to fade here a little bit in his career. So I'm going with a younger guy. I think Morono is going to be able to stay safe and really work at distance here and win a 15-minute decision. Give me Alex Morono to win via decision. Put 2.2 units on that. Oh, man. Up next, we have... I'm probably looking forward to this fight the most on the card. We have Carlos Ulberg versus Ihor Potieria. Carlos, the Black Jag Ulberg, comes in 7-1, sitting as a minus 300 favorite. He is 32 years old, 6'4", with a 77-inch reach. Ihor, the Duelist, comes in 19-3, sitting as a plus 240 underdog. He is 26 years old, 6'3", with a 75-inch reach. Man, so this is funny. This is funny what the UFC is doing here. So the UFC, saw what Ihor Potieria did in his last fight. Knocked out the legend Mauricio Shogun Hua, but what he did after is really important. He did this dance, this little TikTok dance, and celebrated, right? Really bad. And just disrespected the legend Shogun there in Brazil, right? And then he kind of went on the post-fight press conference, kind of explained what he was doing or whatever, and no one was buying it. And so now the UFC is like, all right, you know what, bro? We're going to give you Carlos Ulberg, who, in my opinion, is fighting down. This is a decline in competition for Ulberg. So Ulberg City Kickboxing, right? So he's from the same gym as Israel Adesanya. And dude, the kid's a very sophisticated striker, right? He knows what he's doing on the feet. He came in and immediately loses to Kennedy Nzechukwu, which isn't looking that bad of a loss right now, because he had Nzechukwu hurt in that fight early. And he definitely learned a lesson where you can't, just gas out, use your whole energy in that first round. And he learned from it. He went back, he bounced back, got 3 straight wins. And now he's doing the UFC a favor, and he's going to knock out Ihor Potieria in that first round. I love the under 1.5 rounds in this fight, because the way Ihor Potieria fights is that he rushes forward. He blitzes forward, doesn't really have the best striking defense, and he's not very good himself, man. He's 19-3, but he was fighting bums before the UFC. 0-0, 1-9. Are you kidding me? 17-18, 0-0, 0-3. 5-2, this guy was fighting nobody, and Ulberg is good, bro. Ulberg is not a scrub. He can strike. And I know I said he was minus 300 earlier, but he's around minus 400 now because money's been coming on him. He's everybody's parlay piece in this, on this card. And I get it, man. Inside the distance, knockout, pick whichever. Ulberg should spark this guy very early in this fight, and he's going to do the UFC a favor. I think that's why they're doing this. So give me Carlos Ulberg to win via knockout, and not to mention they moved this from the prelims to the main card. So I feel like the UFC is onto something here. They know Ulberg's going to find that chin and really clock Ihor Potieria. Whether Ihor's coming forward or being the one getting, on the back, getting put on the back foot, I think Ulberg has him pretty much everywhere in this fight. Up next is a banger, dude. Actually, I lied earlier. This is probably the fight I'm looking forward to the most. Up next, we have D-Rod, Daniel Rodriguez taking on Ian Garry. D-Rod comes in 17-3, sitting as a plus 200 underdog. He's 36 years old, 6'1" with a 74-inch reach. Garry, the future, comes in. Oh no, sorry, Ian Machado Garry, the future, comes in 11-0, undefeated, sitting as a minus 240 favorite, 25 years old, 6'3" with a 74-inch reach. Now I'm going with Ian Garry here, dude, and I really like him to win this fight. I wanted to pick D-Rod, and I feel like a lot of people do, because we saw Ian Garry, got hurt in his last fight against Song. He got cracked, he got dropped, but he came back and he whooped the crap out of Kin and Song in that fight. Like, yes, he did get caught. Yes, his hands were low. Yes, he got clipped and put down bad. And I had money on him as like a minus 800 favorite, like in a parlay piece. And right then and there, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot for parlaying someone as a big favorite. But he came back, recovered, and put it on that guy. Like, he beat him down bad. He's shown to have good volume, good fight IQ. But that chin's out there. He does stick his head straight up on the center line. And D-Rock can box, man. That's his best attribute, is his stand-up. His hands are really clean, really crisp. Decent leg kicks. Okay, BJJ. And my homies coach him, so I'm always rooting for him. My boys are always cornering him, so I'm always hoping he wins. But I've met D-Rod a couple times, and I gotta say, guys, his legs are so skinny, dude. His shins are skinnier than my forearms, right? So I think Ian Garry's calf picks are gonna be there all night, really getting D-Rod off balance. And I think he's going to be able to stay safe. I think Ian Garry is going to show that he has a speed advantage over D-Rod here, who is 36 years old. If this fight was 2 years ago, maybe I'd be picking Daniel Rodriguez. But even then, Ian Garry would be 23 years old with a little less experience. So that would probably help D-Rod here. But yeah, man, D-Rod has experience, has fought better opponents. Has pretty good boxing, man, against a guy, Ian Garry, who's still young, still a little bit green, and just got dropped in his last fight. But I do think that Ian Garry will win this fight and continue his little run here. This is a good step up in competition. This is a good path, a good trajectory here for Ian Garry. I think he gets it done. I think he gets it done via decision or late finish. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ian Garry catch a late finish here. D-Rod's a very, very durable guy, though. Just got finished for the first time. Just got submitted, but he's very rarely getting dropped. I know Dwight Grant dropped him a few times, or Davey Grant dropped him a few times, but other than that, you haven't really seen D-Rod hurt. So really durable Mexican chin there. So give me Ian Garry Machado to win via decision. In the co-main event, we have Anthony Smith versus Johnny Walker. This is another banger of a fight. Anthony Lionheart Smith comes in 36-17. He's a minus 105 favorite, I believe, because I think Johnny Walker's plus 100 right now. Pretty much a pick'em fight. 34 years old for Anthony Smith, 6'4" with a 76-inch reach. Johnny Walker, 20-7. Like I said, he's around minus 105 area right now. I think Smith is around minus 115, so I know it's flipped on the screen. But yeah, I think Smith's technically the favorite right now. But 20-7 for Walker, 31 years old, 6'6" with the 82-inch reach. And this is going to be a volatile fight, man. This is going to be a very dangerous fight. Both guys, I feel like, can crack each other at any moment in this fight. I think that Anthony Smith should have the grappling advantage should this get to the mat. But Johnny Walker just impressed me in his grappling realm against Ian Kuntalaba. I didn't expect him to go for the submission against Kuntalaba, and he did. And so he's had a weird career. Johnny Walker, up and down a little bit. He quit CBD, and ever since quitting smoking CBD, he's been on a 2-fight winning streak. We saw him get sparked, meme KO'd by Jamal Hill, where he did the thing like he looks like he's outside the car dealerships, those things that blow up. He got knocked out really, really bad. And he did nothing against Thiago Santos. He got turned to stone in that fight, really got frozen by Santos. He couldn't overcome that strength, that power threat from Santos, and was on his back foot the whole fight, where Johnny Walker is just someone that's been showing to have low fight IQ moments, definitely in the octagon. So it's worrisome to bet on him here. But I like him to win this fight. I think he's going to knock out Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith comes in, he's in a weird spot. So he's coming off losing to Magomed Ankalaev, where he got hurt in that fight. He might have been hurt before the fight and then hurt it even more during the fight. I think his ankle was messed up. He got finished by Ankalaev there pretty badly. But then he was supposed to fight Jamal Hill. And then they pulled that fight and give Jamal Hill the title fight. And then they let him weigh in as a backup fighter, and he misses weight. And then he helped, I believe, Hill train for Teixeira, which I was like, wait, you guys were supposed to just fight. What's going on here? And then now Hill's a champion, so it's kind of weird. And now he's on the commentary desk. I actually met Anthony Smith at a UFC card. He was injured at the time. And that's something that's common from him, man. He's pretty frail. And then, so is Johnny Walker, man. Johnny Walker got injured celebrating, doing the worm. Are you kidding me? But yeah, as far as the fight goes, man, I think the speed's going to be on Johnny Walker's side. I really do. I think the IQ, experience, all that, strength of schedule is definitely on Anthony Smith. I give the grappling to Smith slightly as well. But just the overall athleticism, explosiveness of Walker's speed, I'm going with Walker, man. I think he's going to win. I think he's going to finish Anthony Smith. I really like that under 1.5 rounds. If it goes over, I think it's because Anthony Smith accumulates control time here, either along the cage or on the mat. But give me the under 1.5 and give me Johnny Walker, man. It's going to be a very exciting fight. I don't see myself laying the money line on either guy, but I will take a look at that under, man. 1.5. I don't think that fight goes to the cards. I think someone's getting knocked out in that fight. And here we are, main event, guys. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Like I said in the beginning of the show, and it's going to be a quick one today. We got the Golden Knights playing here in a little bit. Gotta get ready for that. We got to beat the Oilers. It's going to be a good game. Up next, main event, we have Rozenstruik, Biggie Boy, taking on Jailton Almeida. Biggie Boy comes in 13-4. He's sitting as a plus 400 underdog, 35 years old, 6'2", with a 78-inch reach. Jailton Almeida on the other side comes in 18-2. Sitting as a minus 550 favorite, 31 years old, 6'3", with a 79-inch reach. And this is also an open and shut case. This should be a really, really quick fight, another setup fight for Jailton Almeida. He's fighting a guy who can't wrestle, or at least can't stop takedowns in Rozenstruik. And Jailton Almeida, the way he's been fighting in the UFC, this guy's a Brazilian force. If Jailton Almeida was from Russia and had an OV in his name, and walked out with, if he had a chin beard and walked out with a funny hat, he would have like 5 million subscriber followers on Instagram. This guy would be super famous by now. Everyone would be talking about him. I mean, they are kind of talking to him right now, like as far as a contender, because he just goes down and like he takes people down and just kills them. Like it's insane how fast this guy can take you down and just pretty much put you in his world and dominate you. This guy is a physical specimen. First of all, he could fight at 205, but he just decides to fight at heavyweight because these guys can't wrestle. These guys don't have the gas, don't have the technique, don't have the strength to out wrestle Jailton Almeida, which is crazy. We've seen Rozenstruik fight someone with the same type of game plan as Almeida in Curtis Blades, where he did survive against Blades. But I don't think that's going to happen here. I think Almeida is going to get the back, either submit or ground and pound Rozenstruik. And I personally think that it will be a ground and pound finish here. I think the ref pulls him off in that first round. I think that the finish happens on the mat, and it's pretty clearly. I don't think like Rozenstruik, if he does survive that first round and the second round starts, I mean, this guy has crazy power. Rozenstruik is dropping guys with jabs. He pretty much killed Chris Daukaus with the jab, which is insane. And obviously, Daukaus not in the UFC anymore. But even before that, his win against Sakai, same thing. His jabs are legit. He doesn't need to land huge winging bombs to knock you out. This guy has legit power. Super credentialed kickboxer before the UFC. He knows what he's doing, right? And so just like he can't wrestle, can't stop a takedown, and that's what Jailton Almeida is gonna do. Jailton Almeida is on some like Hamzat Chimaev stuff where he's not straight up not taking punches in the UFC. This is gonna be a huge step up in competition, though. I know I said it's a setup fight, but that's more in the sense of like style wise. They're putting him in the main event card here in front of a crowd. The crowd's gonna love it. They're gonna go crazy when Jailton takes him down. But yeah, man. I mean, you go from Danilo Marquez to Parker Porter, who was cut from the UFC, got brought in on short notice to keep Jailton on the card. Pleasure Man, who's probably one of the worst fighters ever in the UFC, and then Shamil Abdurakhimov, who I think is a better grappler than Rozenstruik. So, yeah, give me Almeida to win via finish in that first round. I'm going to go with ground pound finish. Yeah, gonna make it look easy, man. So that's my episode. That's a quick one this week, guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're gonna bounce back. I know I've said that for a few times. I know I'm supposed to do a shoey because I said I was last week, but I don't have any beer. I totally forgot to get beer before I started recording. So, yeah, man, gotta get ready for this night's game. Thanks for watching, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of all my bets, and good luck on your bets this week. I'll see you next week. Peace.
I just wanted to get a huge shout out to Any Action Sportscast. It's a good channel. You should check it out. You don't have to, but I'd recommend it.